For those of you just hopping on the Facebook, there's a link to join the Zoom if you'd like to. Today we step into the blue door. All right. So welcome. We will be entering this blue door where we will connect with the voice of creation, the place where energy becomes form, where vibration becomes word, and where your truth becomes tangible. So let's enter the door together. Welcome. So glad to see your faces again. Some new people joining the group. Thank you. Some familiar people as well. All right. So this is the center of communication. And if you want to tune into your throat, if you want to put your hand on your throat while we step into this door together, this is where thought becomes sound or feeling becomes sound, sound becomes matter, and this is this instrument of manifestation. So this is the threshold between invisible and expressed idea, embodiment, expression. Here, we get to speak our truth or not. There's always a choice. So here it gives rise to this voice and song of authenticity. And as we have been traversing the different doors, we're here to become conscious creators, to create Shambhala here on earth, heaven on earth for ourselves, for the world. And as we have reached the throat center, the throat chakra, we're also coming into contact with the element of ether. Ether is going to govern that sound and that expression. It's this spacious field through which all creation vibrates. So when we speak, we send ripples into that field, and every word is a spell. Every word is an intention. And there's a phrase called Abrakadabra, and it translates as roughly, I create as I speak. So as soon as you start speaking, you start manifesting. And in human design, the throat center is actually the metamorphosis and communication point of all energy. So all of the energy in your human design body graph is trying to reach the throat. Nothing is real until it finds its expression here, until it gets what's inside outside. So here we can align with the frequency of truth, whether it be our truth, the field truth, other people's truth. We're picking up and we're expressing. Our voice becomes magnetic. It becomes coherent. It's creative. And this is, like I said, the point where all energies of the body graph and body ache seek to release. They want to release here. And it's Scorpio season right now. So this blue door is going to invite us to speak from our depths, to name what was hidden, to release what has festered in that silence, to communicate with emotional honesty. This is where transformation, metamorphosis, this is where it happens through conversation, through confession, through creation, through writing. Writing is also a form of speaking. There's something really powerful, though, about when what's inside comes outside through your vocal cords. If you're putting your hands on your throat and take a deep breath in, and then just let a sigh, you can feel the vibration in your throat. So when we're building Shambhala, this is a culture of coherence, of truth, of conscious creation. We must first speak from this inner alignment. What's inside, let it come outside. Each throat becomes a tuning fork. What you say is giving you an insight, a connection to your inner world. And so as you are becoming a tuning fork, what are you vibrating at? What is the vibration? What is the frequency, the elevation of your voice, of how you communicate, of in which words you choose to communicate? So each voice, each note is part of that collective song of creation. So we're co-creating together. And we're doing that through sound, through word, through presence. We weave worlds together. So in this store, it's your invitation to move from mute, where we're not speaking, to muse, where we are expressing. And there's so many different reasons why we would go into suppression, we would go into silence, and how we can shift into expression, and how we might move from echoing others to articulating your own sacred tone, your own sacred voice. As you're learning things, we tend to parrot, we tend to mimic when we're learning, but eventually we become the creator. We become the one that is inspiring. We become the creative. And as we are inside this blue door, we're also guided by Mercury. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, and this is the sacred art of translation. We're transforming intuition, our inner world, into language, into insight, into form. We're going to talk a little bit about Mercury as well. Right now, we're on the cusp of the 44th gene key transit, which we call the grid worker. So this is about teamwork here. So our voice doesn't have to be only in solidarity. It resonates across networks of humanity, tuning relationships into harmony. And the 44 is connected to the channel of the transmitter, and it works with the 26 to actually find the right timing, the right person, place, expression to be able to communicate, to be able to sell something, to be able to transmit something, either as a product, a service, an idea, trying to get you and convince you to join a revolution. My revolution is that conscious creator revolution. I want us all to be conscious creators where we're aware of what we are creating. We're not just flippantly going through life and just whatever our subconscious has in mind. Once we start working with our subconscious and we start understanding what's happening in my world, what do I want to create out here, and what's going on in here, because we want the idea that we're wanting to create, the Shambhala we're wanting to create, we want to be a match for it. So remember, previously we're being a match, we're holding the pose, and we're staying the course. So to be very focused and mindful about what it is that you're vibrating at, and is what you're speaking the world that you want to create. And obviously that's going to take a little bit of slowing down. Life comes at us quickly, and we can have these knee-jerk reactions and responses to things, but when we do that, most likely we are operating from our subconscious, and sometimes our subconscious just wants to keep us safe. It doesn't want to create a new world, and sometimes we hit our upper limits and we sabotage ourselves because we don't want to make that big leap. So we have to slow down, calm down, regulate, and feel into, okay, how can I be a match for this reality that I'm trying to create? And so to be a conscious creator, we have to be the one who speaks with intention, the one who listens with depth, the one who uses language as light. What are you weaving with your words? And if this is a portal where communication is going to become creation, and where word becomes matter, where it becomes something, we have to remember that our voices are powerful, and that our voices are a bridge also between energy and form. The heart was this bridge between, spirit and form, like earth and heaven. But when we get to the throat is actually the one creating, co-creating in the world too. We might discover our truth here in our heart, but it gets expression in the throat. So here we're going to be reclaiming our voice. So again, if you can just put your hand back on your throat and just bring your awareness to this energy center. You can imagine it lit up in a blue color. You can see it as a ball of light, and just feeling into the health, the well-being, the balance or not that lives here. Not here to judge or to fix anything, but just bringing our awareness to our throat. Feeling into the energy moving there, feeling into maybe things that are heavy on your heart that aren't expressed yet. Where in my life have I silenced myself? Where have I spoken words that weren't true for me? What lives in my heart that's left unspoken? What wants to be expressed? You can even feel like maybe parts of your body trying to move up to the throat. I can feel things in my belly or my solar plexus or my sacral kind of revving up, bringing up, coming up. You can bring your breath and your awareness to these places and help gather them up to the throat. You can help them along. You can even take a moment to take a deep breath and make a sigh or make a noise or express an emotion, something that's living in your heart or some part of your body. Ah, ah, ah. Whatever wants to come through, allowing ourselves to just give it a voice, give it an expression. And since we just opened this door, you can do this the whole week long. You can begin a week-long reclamation practice, or each day you're going to notice moments when you want to speak, maybe but hesitate, or there's something in you rising that wants to be named or claimed or expressed or wants to be integrated again. Remember, we're trying to become a match for that Shambhala. Now would be an amazing time for you to start naming. What does heaven on earth look like for you in your life? What do you want to claim so that we can name it, claim it, and say, this is what I'm becoming a match for. We've already moved up through the lower chakras, came to the heart. Hopefully you felt into, what's the truth that lives here? We've opened, maybe you've received more. And now, what's the truth? What's the truth of this all? What do you want out of this? What are you trying to create? Yeah. And maybe you don't know yet, and that is okay. Maybe you're like, I'm ready to name it. I can name it all right now. So, and let's get clear on the intention behind what it is you're wanting to create, the intention behind what is here. And can you make room in your life for that? Are you making space for that? Sometimes it takes reorganizing our day to be able to, sit down with ourselves and journal or get clear on things or take action steps towards creating. Remember, this is manifestation. This is action. There's things that are happening, manifesting, transforming, metamorphosizing in this center. It's you meeting the world. And so now there's some action that's also happening with this. So how are you going to take time in your day to keep building your Shambhala nail by nail or brick by brick or however you're doing it? How are you moving towards that? So the throat chakra is, it's for expression, it's for truth, it's for resonance, it's for communication, it's for relating. When we are imbalanced in this throat chakra, we might have a tight jaw, we might withhold words, we might talk over others, or we might really fear being misunderstood. We want to come into authenticity, and we want to feel like we can stand behind our words, and we want to feel like what we're speaking comes from a place of love, from healing, from like alignment or even resonance with the other person. Once you are communicating with someone else, you're in this biofeedback loop with someone else. So we're not here to dominate the other person. We're here to be like, all right, what wants to be communicated back and forth? So I'm going to share my screen for a moment. I want to give you a little overview of, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of people in the waiting room. Sorry, everyone. Thanks for waiting. Make someone co-host. All right, welcome in. Welcome to the Zoom room. Sorry, I wasn't checking the thing when I was speaking. But let's learn a little bit more about your throat hub in human design, because now is an amazing time for you to connect with the gates that you have activated in your throat center. So this is about expression and manifestation, like I said, and you can see there's quite a few archetypes that are living here in the throat hub, one of the most packed hubs, one of the most packed hubs of all of the 9 centers. Right? How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think maybe the root center has the same amount or maybe more, but this has a lot. And remember, everything is trying to make its way to the throat. So we need a bunch of channels to be able to pull the energy, connect the energy. So maybe you can look at your body graph, and I want you to let me know, whether it's in the chat or the comments, which gates do you have activated in your throat center, your expression center? I have an undefined throat, and I have the enthusiast. So the 16, the gate of skills. See, someone only has gate 20. 33 and 45, so the medicine woman and the hub tree. And Gabriel has the 20 and a defined throat, so that would mean that he has a channel. Care has the 8, the influencer, the heroine, 35, and the orator, the 31. Yeah, beautiful. 2343 for Lisa. And that's her conscious sun. Yeah, that's amazing. Great. Okay, so this is where the throat center lives in the body graph. And here's just another overview of the gates that live here. So the throat center is in its shadow frequency. This comes from Integral Human Design. In the shadow frequency, it's distortion. Distortion as distortion of speech, distortion of message. It kind of feels like interference as well when you're thinking about the 44. Something is in the way. It's distorted. It's almost like when you're tuning a radio and then the frequency sounds all crackly because you're not all the way, you don't have the signal all the way. That's the distortion. Gift here is metamorphosis. Remember, things are transforming in this center. If you think about it, all of the energy is moving to this center. There's a lot happening in here. There's a lot of metamorphosizing. And in the city, something is emerging. Something is emerging out of this. Maybe this is like a butterfly shadow where it's like becoming goo. What you thought or intended to speak now is kind of being broken down. What's really great about breaking down things is the 23. The 23 is called splitting apart, and it's taking the insights that it gathered from the 43, which got the insight, which got the epiphany, right? It received the epiphany. And now the 23 is breaking it down into digestible bites. And it's like, okay, well, what does this mean? How can I translate this? What is the message here? It's simplifying things, but it has to take things from complicated to simple. And so as this energy is here, that's what's happening in the throat. When we are the comedian archetype, 56, It's pulling in from the 11. The 11 is the gate of ideas. It's in the ajna, so it's trying to conceptualize these ideas. It's trying to make sense of them. And sometimes we have these ideas that are then connected to a belief, because this is not just about ideas. Ideas become beliefs when they take hold, when they take root. And the comedian is a storyteller. And so when you're listening to the comedian tell its story, you can understand that there's moral of the stories, there's beliefs that are underneath this. And so as you're weaving and creating the world that you want, you have to see, well, how are you speaking about it? Are you saying, well, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money to create this, and so I'm just waiting for it to arrive, and da 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 da. That is going to communicate lack, right? So the story is, I don't have, I am lacking. As we shift it, we can say, every day I am receiving more and more opportunities to come into alignment with the resources that I need to create this life that I'm longing, that I'm moving into, that I'm walking towards, that I will arrive at. It's solid, it's set, it's happening. The time, don't know how long it will take, but every day I'm moving towards it. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the story that we are communicating to ourselves, to other people, right? What is not incongruency or a match for what you're wanting to create in the world? Think about the scientist as well. The scientist is about naming, is about data, details. The 17 is giving the overview, the bigger picture of things, and the 62 is bringing it down into details. This is about organizing the details. So it's making sense of this huge vision. What is it that we want to create? This, and this. Okay, so what do we need? We need X, Y, Z. And we're naming the things that we need. And the scientist is about experimenting as well. So is the 16 and the 48. They are experimenting. What kind of skills do I need to acquire to be able to create this life that I'm wanting to manifest? The 16 is excitable. When it identifies with something, it gets really excited about it. And the excitement and the identification is what helps it master the thing, is what helps it become good at the skill. The 48, the librarian on the other side of this, makes sure, yeah, it's not about superficial skills. We're going to go deep and we're going to master this. So we need to pull up that energy from the spleen, from the body, from the being, from the intuition, and we need to develop these skills. Great, you want to write a song, but let's make sure the lyrics are potent and powerful. Let's write a really good ballad. Let's create an amazing piece on the piano. If your life had a soundtrack, what would it sound like? I want you to think about a movie. I want you to think about a really famous popular movie. It probably hired someone like Hans Zimmer to create the score of the movie, because he creates orchestra type pieces that are powerful, that are emotional. And then if you think about maybe an indie low budget film, what kind of music did they have? And did it affect the delivery of the movie? I myself personally, if it doesn't have a good film score, if the music is not touching my emotions, then I'm not really interested in the movie. I can tell that it's low budget, and then I feel this like, I don't really want to watch this. It could have really great potential and content, but there's just something about the music, about the score that invests me in it. And so I want you to think about, if you had a theme song for you or for your Shambhala, what would it be? That theme song is something that you want to, that is going to bring up an emotion, evoke something inside of you where you're like, yeah, this is it. And it pumps you up, or it gets you in alignment with that. And music has the ability to do that. So I want you to think about what piece might help you get into alignment or frequency with your Shambhala. faster. Because if you're vibrating at a low frequency and you're like, oh, how do I shift myself? Music does an amazing job at shifting. So you can utilize that to be able to shift you back into the frequency of Shambhala. The 20 is the tranquil. 20 can be busy, 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 busy in the low frequency. But we want it to be present in the now, not running towards the future or the past, really now, present. And even if life is getting really busy around it, it knows how to center. It's imperturbable. It's here, it's now. When it needs to move, it moves. When it needs to bring through that intuition in the now, it does. It knows about right time, right place, right opportunity, right person. It is tuned into this now moment. The power of now lives in this 20. We miss the now when we are superficial in the shadow of that 20. The now, we're not in the now. The now has evaded us. We are busy worrying about the future. We are busy with our busy lives. And it's okay to be busy with the things that you love. It's okay to be involved and invested. This is part of individual integration circuitry where these people are busy doing what they love. They're busy in their industry. They're busy in their business. They're busy in what they are involved in. And that's okay. But we don't want to miss that self-assurance, that presence, that pure spiritual presence in the now. We don't want to miss the now because the gift is in the present. And so are we receiving that gift in the present with that 20? Or are we busy, 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 busy? That we can't receive it. The universe keeps trying to deliver us gifts and we're not home. We don't even know where our mailbox is. We don't know how to slow down to be able to be present with what's alive in this now moment. And then the 31. 31 has been called the president. It has been called the visionary. It's now called the orator. It's about speaking. It's about speech. It's about delivering a vision of the future forward. This is the person that's going to tune into Shambhala and will articulate it and say, this is where we're going. This is where we're heading. This is what the future is going to look like. And it wants to gather you to come in that direction with it. This is collective circuitry. Arrogance is my Shambhala is better than your Shambhala, and you have to come to my Shambhala because I need some more support creating my Shambhala. Your Shambhala sounds really stupid. Mine is the one that is best for humanity. There's arrogance in the shadow of you don't know what Shambhala is for you. I know best. Follow me this way. But that's the shadow frequency. In the gift frequency, we're also pulling up from the 7. The 7 and the 31 together, right, are the channel of leadership. The 7 is guidance, inner compass. Don't you think everybody has an inner compass and knows where their Shambhala is? That's why people live in many different places around the globe, is because they're orienting to the land, to the place that is home for them. And not everybody is going to go in the same place. So even if the 31 is saying Shambhala lives here in this place, and this is what it has to look like, and this is it's about helping people align with their Shambhala. And sometimes they're fractal. And sometimes you will agree with the 31 and say, yeah, I buy into that. I want to go there. I feel the resonance and the frequency of that, and I can align with that. You're my people. I want to go that way. And so they're going to bring people that way. Right? But we're not trying to be divisive. This way's better than that way. It's just, where are we heading? The 31 connects to the leaders of the past, present, and future. It's going to have that orator vibe of very good speech givers. They're going to be the ones that can captivate an audience. People are listening to them. They're like, wow, listen to what this person is saying. That is progressive. That is amazing. That is different. I want to go in that direction. Then we get to the 8. The 8 is the influencer. The 8 is here to be different, to be unique, and to inspire people with their uniqueness. It connects to the 1, which is the creative, which is the spark archetype. The spark is a creator of new worlds. The 8 is here kind of like saying, look at what I discovered, look at what I found, or look at what I created. It's so different, it's new. And it's not sharing it because It wants the attention. It's sharing it like because it's the role model of that. It's like I'm gonna wear this new thing because I really like it. It fits my style well. People look at that person and are like, wow, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're wearing. I want to do that too. And it's gonna garner a lot of people that are mimicking, but eventually, hopefully, they are inspired to find their own style, whether it's style of communication, style of what they're wearing. Maybe it's even about Shambhala, right? Oh my gosh, I love the house. I love the decoration of your house. I love the landscape. I love what you did with the place. And then we bring it into our home. But it's like, I'll take this piece and that piece, and maybe we're gathering different pieces from different people, and we're just being inspired. The 8 and the 23 are part of individual circuitry. They're here to inspire people with their individuality, with their creativity. These are going to have different ideas, different thoughts, different ways of looking at things. These people are going to be different, right? This comes from the identity center. They are different. They are new. They are fresh. They are beautiful. They are bringing in a new direction. And these people are helping us to excavate the gold from past experiences. So what are they communicating? This is storyteller and this is storyteller. The medicine woman is here to articulate and help people uncover through retreat, through looking back, through recollecting, through recanting the past to say, all right, what did I go through? What is the meaning here? What did I learn from this? Because we're wanting to excavate the gold from the past, carry that forward into the future. It's not just about going flippantly and blindly into the future. We learn things from the past experiences and we take that forward with us, right? So the 33 is the champion of the data of the gems. It's the miner of the past. And this is the one that is blazing a trail forward in a new direction. This one is getting the gems out of the mines. This one is blazing a trail forward. So we want to bring the gems with us so that as we are building a new future, it's built on the things we've learned in the past. So we don't repeat it again. We repeat what we don't complete. I say that a lot. Then we have the 45, which is called the hub tree archetype. The hub tree is the queen, is the king, is the sovereign. This is the one who will have Shambhala. This is the one who has the land, who has the resources, who has the property. The voice of the 45 is I have or I don't have. This is the one that has the resources so that it can share with the people, with the tribe. It's tribal circuitry. So it has the land, it has the vehicles, it has the homes, it has the crops, it has all the things. It is the king or the queen or the lord or the lady. It's the one that has property, the things, the Shambhala. Everybody can have Shambhala, but there are people here that are stewarding that have more, that are sharing more, that are kind of the hosts of the party, right? Come gather at my house. I have all these hors d'oeuvres and I have a 7-course meal and la 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 la. Like the 45 is here to gather. It's going to invite you into the party. It's going to say, let's do something together. Come on, let's break bread. It's going to invite you into the home, to the hearth. It has the things to offer, to share, the abundance. People with the 45 have to come into that queen, that king, that sovereign energy. People are going to feel that energy emanating off of them. Sometimes in the low frequency, they are going to be dominated, or even as a child, they are going to be dominated because people are going to sense that regality or that leader in them. And they said, well, I better dominate them before they dominate me. I can sense that dominance in them. I better dominate them. And sometimes that happens. And we have to find a healthy way of relating and finding our place in that hierarchy. The 44 would say, no, there is no hierarchy. There's always a queen bee. Let's not say she's more important than everyone else, but she definitely is an important piece, just like the worker bees are. But the queen bee is the one that's perpetuating the species. Like, let's keep having babies. Let's make sure our colony is big. Let's make sure we're healthy. Let's delegate the tasks and the roles. The 4426 would be the one to do that. You're going to do this. I see this talent in you. How about you be a worker bee? How about you be an educator? How about you be da-da-da-da-da? This is what I see in you. And it's going to sell it. The 45 works with the 44 and the 26. They're part of that tribal circuitry. We're in the transit of the 44 right now. Teamwork. Who is in your fractal? Who are your people? 45. 12. Profit. This connects to the solar plexus center. This one is about communicating that emotional wave. What's the data under the emotional wave? If the emotional wave is not processed, the 12 needs to kick it back and say, gate of caution, we don't speak right now. We need to wait. We need to process. We need to metabolize this emotion, because the 12 also knows at the other end of this emotional wave, this emotional process, there's information, there's data. It's an oracle. It's here to tell the future. Okay, I'm feeling this. This is what I'm going to manifest off of this emotion. We're going to keep manifesting off of our emotional waves to bring us opportunities to complete, to be done with a trauma, to be done with an experience that really rubbed us the wrong way, to be done so that we can learn the lesson from the interaction, the experience, the relationship, the job, so that we can learn from, with that 33, so we can learn the wisdom underneath the experience. So the 12 is going to say, listen, if you don't stop and process this emotion, we are going to attract more of this in the future, because you're repressing, because you're unaware, because you're projecting, because you're blaming the other person for what you're going through right now. And let me tell you, you're going to attract more of the same, because we're just trying to take accountability and responsibility for our own emotions so that we can learn from it and grow and mature and evolve, which is part of that 4253 channel, the whole purpose. Let's evolve, let's mature, let's grow. 12 is the gatekeeper. Should we share this? Does it come from love? Is this unprocessed? Is this processed? It's going to be the one to filter that. The 35 is the one that says, I am hungry for an adventure. I am ready to go through something, to grow through something. Bring on the storms. Bring on the 36. Bring on the emotional wave. I want to get that to the throat. I want to get that to expression. I want to have an experience with it. It's hungry for experience. It's hungry for the heroine's journey, the hero's journey. It's going to go on these adventures. And it knows once we get through this, we're also going to collect data, wisdom, truth bombs, gems from this. So the purpose of all of these, right? They each have a different purpose, and they're each connected to a different center that's carrying different emotion to the throat. How was that? Did you hear something you didn't know before? Was that helpful? Throat center is powerful. Okay. Let's stop sharing. Whee! Okay. So that was a lot. Blue door communication, we looked at the throat. So important to know what activations you have here. If you have an undefined throat, inconsistent energy in the throat center, you're also going to pick up a lot in the field. People with an undefined throat center also are really good at finding the words that match the person. You're going to speak to the person in the way the person wants, like, needs to hear things. You may pick up catchphrases or intonations, or hanging out with somebody long enough, you might start to sound like them. It is mimicking in a little bit, because you're connecting to their definition and you are amplifying it. You're reflecting it back to them. If you have a defined throat, you have consistent access to this communication energy. If it's undefined, you need a chance to warm up until things start flowing. Defined, ready to go. Drop of a dime, okay, here we go. But we also want to pause to be like, all right, people with a defined throat are emoting, communicating, right? And so everybody's picking up from that. You want to feel into what is the frequency of this expression? High, low? What are the words I'm using? What's my come from? Is my gate 12ing? Is it caution or is it just like, bleh? Because gate 12 can cut you with their words like, ow, that hurt. Tone of voice, big for the 12, or it can uplift you, empower you, inspire you, right? So yeah, both expressions are needed, are wanted, are valued, having it defined or undefined. People with an undefined throat tend to talk a lot. And so because they're either trying to be heard or seen, look at me. I have something cool to say, because they feel like they're not going to be picked on, because everybody else has a defined throat. So you can feel with an undefined throat, this big lump in your throat, like there's no space for me to talk because everybody's talking. You can feel the pressure of a defined throat with an undefined throat. Like if there's defined throats in the room, I can feel it. And my tendency has been to speak, to share first, to go. But what I've learned with having an open throat is sometimes it's better for me to go last, because then everybody has their expression and all of the possibilities are out of the field. And now it's just me and what I've condensed or integrated or metamorphosed in my throat by hearing them. And then I can either summarize or I can say what's mine or what's left in the field or what's the most important thing out of everything that was said. So sometimes it's beneficial to wait. And it's also always beneficial to wait until you're invited to speak, especially with an undefined throat. Sometimes it doesn't come and you're like, oh man, I have something really great to say. And sometimes someone says what you were going to say, but really, is it what you were going to say, or is it that you're picking it up in the field with your undefined throat or your head or your ajna, or somebody's putting in the thoughts and you're like, oh, that was really good, but was it yours? Guess we won't really know. You have to be a master at energy discernment to be able to tell what was mine, what came from me, and what came from the field. None of it's bad. It wants to be expressed. It's dropping into any primed and ready vessel. So tune into your throat, tune into the activations that you have there. You can also tune into your Mercury activation. Conscious or unconscious, I would focus on conscious. This is also the sphere of relating in the gene keys. Tune into Mercury as this messenger. Tune into Mercury, the gate, the line, the sign, the house. Look at the nuance of what you're here to communicate. I have the 57, which is a Libra gate. It is in the 4th line. This is about sharing and communicating with others. And when I'm communicating, I'm really tuning into my intuition, into the field. I'm pulling things from there. Oftentimes, if I'm on a roll, I can get really specific about a person, like knowing who a person is without them having to tell me, or get really specific about like, I had a reading once where I kept going on and on about, like I was giving a metaphor or analogy about being a server and like the different roles inside food service and and then she was like, that is, I have spent many of my years in food service and that is exactly right. And I'm just picking up from the field, and my open throat is communicating it in a way that makes sense for them with my open head and my open ajna. And it's important for you to feel into and look at your chart. How do I communicate? What am I receiving, open centers, from the field, from the other person? And what is defined in me? And does that definition have access to the throat? If it has access to the throat, it means the throat is defined. If it doesn't, it means the throat is undefined. And so what gates help me get access to the throat? What pathways do they need to go through to get expression? And you'll probably often attract people that have those hanging gates that then help you gain access. I have the 36, I always attract the 35 because it's my 36 is trying to get to the throat. So I attract that. I also attract 22s because my Chiron is in gate 12. So look at your chart and see, how can my energy get to the throat? And you can work with that hanging gate energy too to help bring it in. But look at your Mercury placement. This will reveal your messenger frequency, how you're designed to express your insight. What message are you here to deliver? What's your tone, your style, your medium that feels most natural for you? What house your Mercury is in is going to tell you where and which you're here to communicate. What house? Seventh house is partnership, right? Having it in the third house, that's already communication. Ninth house, you're going to be communicating spiritual, higher education, theories, philosophy, theology. You're going to be expressing that. So check out and see what house is your Mercury in. You can also tune into, and I did a PDF, and all these things are in the PDF, so don't worry if I'm giving you a lot of things that you can investigate. You don't have to investigate all of them. Just do what you're drawn to. Like, oh, that sounds interesting. Oh, I want to do that. You don't have to do it all. You can also tune into your fifth lines that you have in your human design or gene keys. This is going to be, fifth line is about communication. It's the frequency of impact, projection, leadership, and it's connected to communication and influence. So locate any of those fifth line activations that you have in your chart, because those are going to be areas where your words naturally carry weight. And there's a mastery that happens in the fifth line activations as well, because it's the top of the hexagram. Sixth line is looking at the future. It's like done with the process. It's like, nope, we're going to look forward. The fifth line is like the master guitar player, like playing all the chords, playing all the strings of the guitar. It's a master, it's a pro. Does that mean that you're a pro from the get-go? No, like it's something that develops. So look at those fifth lines. How can you use your influence responsibly, truthfully? Am I speaking from integrity or from a desire to rescue or to be rescued? There's a lot of victim consciousness that can happen in the fifth line as well, right? And we want to be empowered, conscious creators. Tuning into those fifth lines are where we're going to have impact and influence in creating the Shambhala too. Where am I here? Where am I called forth to share my voice? In that fifth line. Okay. I think I saw something in the chat. When you say to look to our planets, do you always mean personality? So you start with the personality, and you can move to the design if you'd like. Design Mercury, think about as your inner world, as the way you think. And think about your personality Mercury as the way you express. Here's how I'm expressing, and then design, here's how I'm thinking. That's how I look at it. It's not defined that way, but that's how I kind of look at things. So design Mercury house would be in the house of the design sun. No, design Mercury will be in whatever house it's in your chart. Let me see if I can pull up a chart. Might be helpful for you guys to see. So when you are going into, when you want to see your chart, you're going to want to go to Astro HD Natal Transit. And this is going to show you Mercury 57.4. Where is it at? Mine's in the 10th house, Libra. My Libra placements are in the 10th house. So I can see that my Mercury is over here, all by its lonesome. Where Yeah, so that's where you're going to look. It could be by your sun, absolutely, but it doesn't have to be. Mercury moves very fast. It only takes 88 days for it to transit the whole wheel. And actually, your design side is 88 days before you were born. Mercury has gathered all of the things it needs to gather before you were born, all the data, all the information. It's talked to all the other planets. So you can think about Mercury as it is the messenger. It is also the one that hears everything, all the secrets, like going along, collecting all of that data, right? So that's that one. And then my inner Mercury is a 53.2, which is also conjunct my core wound. Actually, you just need to start thinking. Just begin to think about things on an everyday basis. What should you be thinking about? And also, I'm here to be 53 is about initiation, is beginning. This is the sixth house routines. This is every day, sixth house every day. Fifth house, children, creation, creativity, passion. Third house, communication. 11th house, people, friends, progressive ideas. 12th house, the subconscious, what's under the surface of things. 10th house is career, business. First house is self. 7th house is partnership. Second house is finances, what you have. Fifth, sixth, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. I think eighth house is transformation, death, taxes. No, just kidding. Yeah, it's connected to Scorpio, so all those Scorpio tendencies. Yeah. So that's what you would look into if you have genetic matrix. If not, you can pull up a natal wheel and it'll show you where the Mercury activation is. Then you can use that. So yeah, I have, and since you guys are here, I'll plop the PDF inside of the chat. For those of you looking on Facebook, I'll put that inside of the Facebook group. I did a workshop in, okay, here's your PDF, everybody. Oops. Blue Door PDF. I did a workshop in Cancer season called Mute to Muse, and I actually just put all of it inside of my academy. So now it's evergreen. This was an amazing workshop that helped you. It was like a voice liberation activation workshop where we went into the mute, which is the one that was holding back, that was silencing, and we helped bring it forward to see why are we holding back, what needs to be said, what needs to be communicated, what's going on here. And oftentimes it was connected to, you know, an emotional situation or thing that wasn't processed. Once that was processed, it made space, and the muse, the creator, the muse could come forward to speak, to share, to put something new into the world. And so I have on here, this is the workshop, and I'll put that in our chat as well. It's only $35, but it's very amazing. People that did the workshop had a great time with it. And I also created a chat bot called Sage, and Sage helps you go through this process. So even when you're done with the workshop and you're still working on things, Sage will guide you through the process because she's trained in the whole process. And so Mute to Muse, it comes with the 1.5 hour workshop. It has a PDF where you can write things down. It comes with Sage that you can use during it and after it, but it's really helped to liberate your expression. And this is the process of it. So we move into an intention setting. We move towards connecting, communicating with your inner mute, feeling the feelings that might be stuck or stagnant in the body to help us process. And as we're processing, we're making space, and then we awaken the muse, the part of you that's alive, that's expressive, that's radiant, and then we start to speak the truth of the muse. That could be connected to the mute as well. And there's this integration that happens of your experience with the mute and what the muse is bringing forward. And the mute is not bad. The mute creates this defense mechanism to help us stay quiet because maybe we needed to stay safe. Maybe there wasn't a place for us to express our emotions. Maybe people told us to sit down and shut up. Maybe there wasn't a place for us to process our emotions. So this is definitely an opportunity to complete so that you don't have to repeat. And I'm big on that. And we are in the last couple moments of this transit of the 22 and the 47 in the nodal environment. And remember, I told you when this nodal environment started to transit, I said, now is the time to work on processing those emotions, because the 47 is going to help you make sense of the past. The 22 is going to help all these emotions have a seat at the table to be like, what do we need to feel? Let's bring this stuff up and let's excavate some of the gems, some of the gold, some of the diamonds. So that is available for you guys to go through. It's self-paced, so you'll be able to do this whenever you want. I did these live a couple times. They're amazing. I might do it live again, but for now, it is an evergreen course. So, yeah. Ooh, right on the dot, we finished on the hour mark. I'm going to stay on after so that we can chat a little bit. You can ask any questions that you have for those of you that are in the Zoom room. We'll meet for 20 minutes after, and then we'll wrap up. But for those of you that are watching the live stream, take your time this week to be able to tune into your voice, to tune into your throat and see what wants to be expressed, or the things that are kind of weighing on your heart or stuck in places. Let's try to find the story, find the song that's hidden underneath things, and see if you can sing the song of your soul, sing the song of your heart. Get really clear on naming and claiming that Shambhala for yourself. What is it you want to create? Name it. Say, this is what I want my life to look like. Now is the time to start communicating it. Look at your body graph, see what's activated in your throat. If it's undefined, see what you need to connect to bring things to the throat. I want you to start looking at how does your energy want to move? Because if this is the manifestation and the metamorphosis part of your body graph, part of your being, you want to find a way to bring things to express, to bring out. Okay, so welcome to the blue door. Welcome to communication, to expression. And remember, abracadabra. I create as I speak. So whatever you're speaking, you are creating. So be discerning about what leaves your mouth. What's the frequency of that? What are you saying? What's the underlying message underneath that story, underneath that statement? What's there? You can start listening and attuning to the things that come out of your mouth, and it'll help you understand what's happening in my inner world. Remember, Scorpio season, let's go deep. Let's see what lives here. We can use this energy to let die what needs to let die and make space for the Shambhala that you're creating. And we're going to move into Sagittarius season, which is very hopeful, very expansive, very out there, big energy, big Sagittarius energy. So let's do the work we need to do in Scorpio season so we can prepare for all of the abundance that's coming in Sagittarius. Okay. And like always, you can still get the ebook for the 64 doors. We have the 64 door subscription, and you can book sessions with me as well. Oh yeah, there's only 7 sessions left for the soul recognition readings as well. The workbook or PDF has all the links in there, and also any of the activities you want to do during this transit of the blue door, and some essential oils too to help you on your journey. All right. Thank you for joining. And for those of you in the Zoom, I'll see you in one moment.